Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and I have a project to share with you using the Climbing Orchid stamp set. There it is. And this stamp set is one that I first looked at in the catalog and thought, oh, I am never doing that. That's way too fussy for me. But what I've found is that there are lots of different ways to use these pieces. So let me show you some tips for putting these cards together, and also a tip on this card on how to use some really fussy background paper and just mute it down to go with the tone of your card. So let's get stamping. Okay, so we'll grab our packet here and set your directions aside. And for this one, we have a piece of sweet sugar plum that is 8.5 by 4 1/4 inches, which is the perfect for a square. And you probably know this already, but square cards cost more to mail. You have to pay like a little upcharge for them. So instead of mailing a square card, I generally like to just put this in a regular envelope, so then you don't have to worry about it. I also love this card size because you can use a sheet of 12 by 12 designer series paper, cut it into 9 pieces, and be ready to go for 9 cards. So efficient ways to use your DSP. All right, then we have a piece of vellum here because this pattern is really busy. So to just put my orchid on here is just a little bit strong for my taste. So instead, I like to put a piece of vellum and then put our orchid over it, and that helps to soften our background paper. So I'm going to grab my early espresso and the stem from Climbing Orchid, and I'm going to use my die cuts as sort of positioning tool. So I'm going to kind of put them about where I want them, I think. Okay, and then ink up my stamp, and then I'll just take them away when I go ahead and stamp on there so that I kind of have an idea, and I'm not going to worry about going underneath too far there. Okay, and then next I'm going to go ahead and stamp my flowers. So there are 2 sets of flowers in this set. There are the stripy ones and the speckled ones, and I'm sure if you're an orchid botanist or an orchid fan, you know all about those, so you have to leave a comment. But I am going to just go ahead and stamp the stripy one. And when I stamp on a die cut, sometimes I like to stamp upside down, so you might just press your die cut down this way. But with photopolymer, usually you can see pretty well where you're stamping to just stamp on the top side of it. So there's our one flower, and then our second flower. And with Stamps in the Mail Club, you get Stampin' Spots included, but if you want to upgrade to the full-size ink pads, you can do that. It just costs a couple dollars more. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add the hello. There's great greetings in this stamp set. Hello and enjoy today, thinking of you, and of course you could just use the enjoy if you wanted. Or you could take the today and put thinking of you today. Lots of good flexibility on this one, so it was super well designed. And then I'm going to take my pair of paper snips, which are the best scissors, and cut a little banner end here on my glimmer paper. And I always find it's easier to actually see it from the back side because that glitter is distracting. Okay, so then we are just going to assemble. So let me give you some tips. I'm going to use my Stampin' Dimensionals for this, and my banner is going to fit there on the back, and I'm just going to use a Stampin' Dimensional to hold it together. And then the other thing you want to know, I'm going to put my flowers on here first because we're going to need to have that location information to put our vellum adhesive on. So go ahead and stick this down, and I kind of like the front, the smaller one, to overlap just a little bit. And then I'm going to flip this to the back side, and wherever I am hidden there, I can add adhesive. When you put adhesive on the back of vellum, it will show through, so you always want to hide your adhesive with a layer on the front. Okay, and then I'll peel this little backing off and stick our thing down. So there we go. There is a super quick, fun card with some vellum and designer series paper with Orchid, Climbing Orchid stamp set. If you want to, you could use some sponge daubers and add some yellow to the center of your flowers, but I think either way is great. And if you haven't requested your Stamps in the Mail Club kit yet this month, I know we're really close to Christmas, but I still have some kits left, so Merry Christmas to you. You could go ahead and request one, and I'll get it in the mail to you. So happy stamping. Thanks so much for watching, and look for some more Climbing Orchid projects soon.